phase 3, movement and tacticals. We'll just go through the main points on this page. Deployment zones, those are determined at the beginning in the scenario setup. Movement, everyone can move a base of 6 inches. So I'll do a little demonstration with these guys in a minute. Difficult terrain, it's any terrain that slows you down. Dense brush, shallow water, barbed wire. If you go in and move through that, you can only move your agility characteristic. Dangerous terrain, that's minefields, multiple coil razor wire, electrical fences, stuff like that. I haven't done that, but it looks pretty brutal because you have to take an agility test for every inch you move. And if you fail, then you suffer a hit with a 6+ lethality. So it's not a good idea. Climbing, go over that, we'll go leg up. Moving with captive, unconscious, or casualties. So you can carry enemy that you knocked out. You can carry your own guys. If you have a mission where you can't leave anyone behind, you have to carry your guys out. And that's, you can move your agility characteristic -1. And the more guys that are touching, the more you can move. So every 2 additional models or 1 additional model, you get to move another couple inches if you're dragging someone. And then moving through fire, that's similar to impassable terrain. So now we get to the tactical actions. There's just a quick demonstration to show the different movement rates that between these guys on the right, those are my elite operators, guys on the left are the militia. So everyone has a basic 6-inch move. That's pretty standard in most games. So combat sprint. This is a very useful rule. Basically, you take your basic movement of 6 and you add your agility. So the agility of an elite operator is 5. So when they do a combat sprint, they're sprinting 11 inches, which is really booking it from where he started way up to there. And these guys are only agility 3, so they're only moving 9 inches. So I mean, they can only sprint to about there. Not great, but it could help. It still can help, but it's not as good obviously as the elite guys. Another type of movement is tactical movement. So tactical movement is moving stealthily, sticking to cover, keeping your head down, just really paying attention to your surroundings. If you do this, you get +1 to your defense. So it helps you stay alive a little bit longer. So the same thing with this, you get to move only your agility, and that's it. So agility of 5 for the operators, agility of 3 for these guys. So you can see these operators, they move a lot faster. Yeah, they're just all around better, and the movement is no exception to that. Another thing you can do in this phase is deploy non-lethals. So that's a smoke grenade or a stun grenade or a breach, which we can do. We're going to go over that a little bit more in depth because I think that's one of the cooler parts of this game. So let's say I wanted to throw a smoke grenade. I could toss one out there in the street, combat sprint across. And if I had my whole team here, we could all throw smoke grenades and combat sprint across. And the smoke, it's a template. So I think it's a 3-inch template or something. I'm not 100% on that. I should look that up, but I didn't. Stun grenades. So if we were stacked up over there on that, around that building with some operators who had stun grenades, we would throw them in. They would go off like a regular grenade, which will go over. And what they do is they will, anyone under the template of a stun grenade is going to get all of their stats reduced to 1. So that's moving, shooting, defense, everything. So even if they are in there just because you're stunned doesn't mean you can just run out, because you can only move an inch. So you're going to be stuck in that room, blind, don't know what's going on, stunned, and then you're probably going to get taken out by the operators or whoever's coming in. Also move into close combat. We'll go over close combat a little bit later. It's pretty straightforward. It's very lethal. It's very decisive. Once you're in there, someone's going to die or you're going to get knocked out or captured. So it's not a big time sink. It doesn't bog the game down. It's just kind of like Wolf Action, where you go in and it's over in a few minutes and you have a clear winner. So we'll start. So breaching. So we're going to go over breaching next. Oh wait, I forgot one other way to move, sorry. Vertically. In this game, there's a lot of vertical movement, or there can be. You can get up on these buildings. There's just a lot of walls you got to jump over. You got to jump on top of stuff. It's kind of a pretty vertical game, more than I'm used to. So there's rules for that. Everyone can go over a 1 inch. Everyone can go over a 1 inch thing, 3/4 to 1 inch. But you still have to do an agility test, which means you have to roll a d6 equal to or less than your agility. So again, the lower the agility, like the worse the troops, like the militia, the harder it's going to be for them. So a 3, you got to roll a 3 or less. Your odds aren't great. These guys are 5, so you got a pretty good chance of getting over 1 inch wall and passing an agility test. So he would have to roll 1 to get over this 1 inch wall. If it's up to 2 inches, you can actually assist a guy. So again, you get up. He's going to boost this guy up with the old hand stirrup, or get on his back, or the guy will jump on his back and jump up on top. Again, you'll need an agility test. Need to pass. If he does, he's up on top. So that's it for movement. Now we'll do some breaching stuff. Alright, breaching. Breaching is what you're going to have to do if you're going to get through a locked door, do a locked window. If you want to go through a solid wall, you can do it. But everything has a d6 score to breach. So you can see concrete walls, 7+. Lowest is a window, a 3+. So on a d6, you need to get that score or higher. There are tools available that give you bonuses. Like a shotgun will give you a bonus to breach. A breaching charge will give you a +3. So you'll add 3 to whatever you roll on your d6, and so that'll give you a big boost in breaching. There's rules for it. Shotguns can breach things. Shotguns can't breach things. Concrete wall, breaching charge only. So breaching charge is one of the pieces of equipment you have to issue to a guy before the mission. So we'll come over here. So we're going to pretend that there's a gate there. So to breach, you would have to roll. So a gate, we'll say a barricaded door would be a 5+. So this guy next to the door has a breaching charge. So this is part of the tactical and movement phase. And I haven't mastered this yet. It seems like it's kind of a hard thing to set up. Because what we want to do is set the breaching charge, have it go off, and then everyone be within range to move in and shoot. And you can move up, set the breaching charge, and blow it up at the same time. You don't have to be stationary against it to set it. So movement and tactical, you move. Everyone can move up. I like the idea of stacking them all up there, setting the breaching charge, rolling the d6. We need a 5+. We got 3. The breaching charge will give us a 3+. So really, we need to roll a 2 or up, 2 or higher to reach that gate. So another cool thing about the breaching charge is it acts as a stun grenade. So everyone within 6 inches of that breach point on the other side, the enemy side, is affected as if they got hit by a stun grenade. So we would breach, we would come in, say this guy's not more than 6 inches away. So in our movement and tactical, if we were already here, we could just do the breach, and in our movement, we would come in and start shooting. In the shooting phase, of course, there's still a movement. So everyone within 6 is going to be stunned. So stats down to 1 for everyone. So that guy over there wouldn't be, he'd still be fully functional. He wouldn't have any negative to him. He wouldn't be stunned. So when you come in, you're going to know your target priority. So you know he's going to be fully capable of taking one of you out. So you're going to want to target him, of course, first. And if there was more enemy, then you'd have to be a little bit more selective of what you who you shot at. So you'd want to shoot at the guys who weren't stunned, of course. But it's a cool part of the game. Either breaching with a charge, you can breach with a breaching kit, shotgun. Obviously, those are going to be loud, and if you're trying to sneak in, then you don't want to do that. Another part of this, which happens to be on the next page that I'll go over now, is alertness. So let's say these guys were all asleep in there. If you're on alert, then all your stuff it's kind of like being stunned. You can't really you can't do anything. You're everything's a 1, I believe, or you have a defense of 1. So you have the initiative. You can sneak in, take everyone out, and if you have the right weapons or the right attachments, then no one will even know that you were there. But if you're going in hot, use the breaching charge, use a stun grenade. A lot cooler to go in and just take them all out. So that's a breaching part, which is a fun thing. Like I said, alertness. You can be alert or unalert. Usually the scenario will say at the beginning who's alert, who's unalert. The ones I've been doing, it's pretty much been night missions with operators infiltrating, looking for something, trying to take a objective, and everyone else is unalert except for maybe a couple of guys, enemy sentries or something. There's detection. So you need to still spot the enemy, even if it's daytime and everyone's alert. There's still a chance that you don't see them. They're moving stealthily, they have good camouflage on. So there's detection ranges for day. So like for example, anything within 12 inches automatically spotted by anybody. And then again, the different levels of troops affect how good you are at spotting things. So like untrained guy at 24 inches, you need a 3-up. A militia, 3-up. Trained, 2-up. Elite, automatic. As the distances get greater, the harder it is to spot. And the harder it is for poorly trained guys to spot. Nighttime, that's different. Still within 12, you can spot automatically. But then you can only spot out to 24 inches at night. And then that's only on a 6 if you're trained and below. Of course, if you have night vision, then it doesn't matter because you treat everything like it's daytime. So alert models, you can be, if you're unalert, you can become alerted. Usually that'll be a gunshot. If there's a gunshot within 36 inches of you, unsuppressed, you're alerted automatically. If there's a casualty in line of sight in 12 inches of you, then you see the guy die, suddenly you're wide awake. Any vehicle noise, aircraft. Another cool thing I never tried, but it's, if you're drunk or drugged, it's -1. If you're stupefied, it's -2 to detect. So if you're jacked up on cat or booze or whatever it happens to be, it's going to be harder to detect something, obviously. So that's it for this phase. I really like the breaching. I like you can do it silent if you need to, if it's night and you're infiltrating, or you can just go in blasting. So that's a real cool part of the game. So next we will go on to the combat phase.